저 오빠들 이상해.
There's a reason why Chongdong is a must-see neighborhood in Seoul. It is home to the Doksugang Palace from the Joseon Dynasty, as well as some of Korea's first modern schools and churches. Built during the mid-1400s, Doksugang Palace spreads over an area of 63,069.2 square meters. It is a walled compound of palaces that was used by royalty during the Joseon Dynasty. Originally home to King Seongjong's brother, Doksugang Palace eventually became home to royalty in 1592 during the Imjin War upon the destruction of all the other palaces. The first king to live in the palace was King Seonjo, and the first king to be crowned in the palace was King Gwanghaegun, who proceeded to rename the palace Gyeonggungung in 1611. Soon after, in 1618, Doksugung became an auxiliary palace since the previously burned down Chongdong Palace was rebuilt and made the official palace. After 270 years of being an auxiliary palace, Doksugung was brought back to the forefront by Emperor Kojong in 1897, and expansion of the palace began. Even after Emperor Kojong gave up the throne to Emperor Sunjong, he remained at the palace, which was subsequently renamed Doksugang in his honor. Doksugang translates as a reference to a palace of virtuous longevity. It is also the place where King Kojong died. Unfortunately for the palace, during the colonial period, its buildings were destroyed. There is the Western style of architecture behind Chonghwanhon and Sokjojeon. Chonghwanhon was completed in 1900 and served as a place for King Kojong to drink coffee with foreign delegates, earning it the honor of being the first cafe in Korea. On the other hand, Sokjojeon, completed by a British architect in 1910, became a Japanese art gallery upon King Kojong's death. A noteworthy event that occurred at Sokjojeon was the American-Russian Joint Commission in 1946, after the Korean Declaration of Independence. Now, the East Wing is a treasure exhibition, while the West Wing is part of the National Modern Art Center. Another notable building of the Doksugung compound is Chunghwajeon. Chunghwajeon saw much of the politics during the Korean Empire, as well as conversations on national affairs. Its interior design was elaborately created with complex designs and a pair of dragons above the king's throne. The dragons are meant to represent the palace, which was the imperial palace during that time. Doksugung Palace is a hotspot for both visitors to, as well as residents of Seoul. Whether it be a first visit to take in all the surroundings, or a fifth visit to experience a relaxed Saturday, Doksugung Palace is a must-see that experiences a lot of foot traffic. Popular activities at the palace include seeing its Western-style garden and fountain, walking the road with a stone wall, and witnessing the changing of the royal guard in front of Daehanmun Gate. Various types of art as well as performances can be seen here, and the Citizens Park right outside the museum is a great place for visitors to take a break and relax after much exploration.
Okay.
You know what time it is? It's Block B time. Yeah. Brand new style represents Block B.
What's up, Dallas boy? 몇 바퀴 스커물 영영 두개째 따라와 baby 모든 게다 완벽하니까 남에겐 백뉴스 running 박진감 있게 I'm on my way 먼저 가실게 처음엔 다들 혀를 차고 어리석다 해
What is back?
We gonna rock this.
Today, Doksugung Palace is one of Seoul's 5 grand palaces, and the only one open to public in the evening. Despite its being a third of the size it used to be, the palace still boasts various architectural styles, as well as gardens and gorgeous views. 3 times a day, the changing of the guards is an elaborate ceremony involving traditional musical instruments and a password for verification in order to begin. A portion of the ceremony can be seen here. Chongdong is definitely a place that requires a visit, from tourists of Seoul who are looking for both a cultural and historical look into Korea. If tourists come at the end of May, they will be able to experience Chongdong Culture Night. The Culture Night is a series of events that are planned throughout Chongdong and are bound to make time spent in the area unforgettable. Though Doksugung Palace is the main highlight of the Chongdong neighborhood, there's also the Chongdong Theater. The theater opened in 1995, marking the restored Wangaksa, the first modern theater in Korea. Chongdong Theater is a representative traditional art performance theater for Korea. It has garnered interest on a global scale and attracts foreigners from all over who want to appreciate Korea's culture and beauty. There is even the Janggu Experience session, during which visitors can learn rhythmic Janggu beats directly from the performers. Of course, when in Chongdong, one can't forget Korea's first Protestant church, the Chongdong Church. It is located nearby the theater and the palace in the center of Chongdong Street, making it an easy stop during a visit to the neighborhood. For those who are interested in foreign architecture, the Seoul former Russian legislation is an excellent view. It was designed in a Renaissance style by the Russian architect A.J. Skredin. It is the location of the Ulmisabyon incident of 1895, which showed the force of the Japanese. The embassy was almost destroyed completely by a fire, so all that remains now are the tower and basement areas. However, it has since been restored and is a public park. Last but not least, a favorite of many Seoulites is the City Hall and Seoul Plaza. It is also a Renaissance-style building like the embassy, as well as a historical site. The plaza is where the Semil independence movement of 1919 and the pro-democracy movement of 1987 occurred. It also holds cultural value as a location for soccer fans to come and cheer during the 2002 World Cup. The sprawling grass is often used for festivals and as a public area for people to gather and relax. Lastly, the floor water fountain, the 48-floor lights surrounding the grass square, and the wall clock are other enticing aspects that draw people to this area.